The air crackled with anticipation. Damian Lillard, back on the court after a month-long absence, was a sight Bucks fans had yearned for. His return, however, was not the triumphant comeback many had hoped for. The shadow of his recent deep vein thrombosis diagnosis loomed large. He moved with a grimace. His usually explosive first step seemed tentative. Lillard, known for his clutch shooting, struggled to find his rhythm. He finished the game with a paltry 14 points. His usually reliable shot deserted him, going 4 for 13 from the field. The Pacers' defense, rejuvenated by his struggles, swarmed him like angry wasps. Every shot, every drive was met with fierce resistance. The frustration was evident on Lillard's face. Gone was the swagger, the confidence that had become synonymous with his game. In its place was a look of determination mixed with a hint of vulnerability. He was battling not just the Pacers, but also the invisible opponent within, the fear of his body failing him again. The final buzzer sounded, a death knell to the Bucks' hopes. The scoreboard glared back at them, 123-115. The Pacers, written off by many, had drawn first blood, not once, but twice. The Bucks, a team built for championship aspirations, were now staring down the barrel of a 0-2 deficit. The loss hung heavy in the air, a suffocating blanket of disappointment. The usually boisterous Fiserv Forum fell silent, the fans stunned into disbelief. This wasn't how it was supposed to be, not against a team they were expected to handle with relative ease. The Pacers, on the other hand, were jubilant. Their underdog spirit, fueled by the home crowd's energy, had propelled them to an unexpected series lead. They had weathered the storm, withstood Lillard's return, and emerged victorious. Their confidence was palpable, their belief growing with each possession. Lillard's return, while emotionally uplifting, raised more questions than it answered. Deep vein thrombosis, a blood-clotting disorder, is not something to be taken lightly. The fact that he was back on the court just a month after his diagnosis was a testament to his resilience, but at what cost? His limited practice time was evident. The usual sharpness, the burst of speed, was missing. He looked winded at times, his movements labored. The coaching staff kept a watchful eye on him, their faces etched with concern. The decision to rush him back, while understandable given the circumstances, was a gamble that could have long-term consequences. Was it a case of too much, too soon? Only time would tell. While Lillard struggled, Giannis Antetokounmpo was a force of nature. The Greek Freak, as he was affectionately known, put on a clinic, showcasing his unique blend of power and finesse. He finished the game with 34 points, 18 rebounds, and 7 assists, single-handedly keeping the Bucks in the game. He was a one-man wrecking crew, bulldozing his way to the basket, finishing with thunderous dunks. His presence on the court was a constant source of worry for the Pacers. He was simply unstoppable. His performance was a silver lining in an otherwise disappointing night. It was a reminder of his immense talent, his ability to carry the team on his broad shoulders. Section 5. A history of hardship. This wasn't the first time the Bucks had found themselves in a hole against the Pacers. The two teams had a storied rivalry, with the Pacers often playing the role of the spoiler. The Bucks, despite their recent successes, had struggled against their Eastern Conference foes. In the previous year's playoffs, the Pacers had eliminated the Bucks in 6 games. It was a bitter pill to swallow, a stark reminder of their playoff vulnerabilities. Antetokounmpo, sidelined with a calf injury, could only watch in frustration as his team fell short. The Bucks, eager to prove their championship credentials, were determined to rewrite the narrative. But the Pacers, clearly not intimidated, had other plans. History, it seemed, had a nasty habit of repeating itself. Section 6. The weight of expectation. The weight of expectations hung heavy on the Bucks. After years of regular season dominance, they were desperate for playoff success. Anything less than a championship would be considered a failure. The pressure was immense, threatening to consume them. The city of Milwaukee, starved for a championship since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar led them to glory in 1971, was counting on them. The fans, their hopes renewed by the arrival of Lillard, were desperate for something to cheer about. The Bucks knew they had the talent, the experience to go all the way, but talent alone wasn't enough. They needed to dig deep, to find a way to overcome adversity. The question was, could they do it? Section 7. A glimmer of hope. Despite the loss, there were glimmers of hope for the Bucks. Lillard, though rusty, was back. His presence alone provided a much-needed boost to the team's morale, and with each passing game he would only get better. Antetokounmpo, in his usual dominant form, showed that he was more than capable of carrying the team. His performance was a beacon of light, a reminder that they were never out of it. The Bucks, now back on home court, were determined to bounce back. The series was far from over. They had the talent, the coaching, and the support of their fans. All they needed was to find a way to put it all together. Section 8. The clock is ticking. As the dust settled on Game 2, the reality of the situation set in. The Bucks, facing a 0-2 deficit, were in a must-win situation. Every possession, every rebound, every loose ball would be crucial. The margin for error was razor-thin. The pressure was on. Could Lillard regain his form in time? Could Antetokounmpo continue his superhuman efforts? Could the rest of the team step up and provide the necessary support? The answers to these questions would determine the fate of their season. The clock was ticking. Section 9, a fight for the future. Game 3 promised to be a battle. The Bucks, their backs against the wall, would come out fighting. They had to. Their season, their pride was on the line. The Pacers, smelling blood, would be ready for them. The atmosphere in the Fiserv Forum would be electric. The fans, sensing the urgency of the situation, would be louder than ever. Every basket, every turnover, would be met with a roar of approval or a groan of despair. This was more than just a game. It was a fight for their future. A chance to prove their doubters wrong, a chance to take control of the series, a chance to keep their championship dreams alive. The stage was set, the battle lines were drawn. Let the games begin.